Hey there folks, how's it going? It's NotSoLivid, and welcome back to Season 3 of March Madness. I don't remember what we did last time. It's been a few days. But this time we're doing the Rivals, which, friends of the channel, Josh, Reese, also doing these brackets as well. They've both already done this one. Links will be in the description to both of them. And if you want to fill it out yourself, it'll also be in the description. Okay, that's all the preamble that I think I need to say. Let's go to the bracket. 23 total, I believe. I tried to be very objective with it for the buys and pick characters who were sort of objectively viewed as good rivals, and then Bianca just got lucky. Bianca got lucky and got a first round bye because there's 23 and not 24. But like Blue, Wally, Cheren, Barry, Gladion, Hop, Silver, and pretty objectively strong rivals, I think. Not like in terms of like actual strength necessarily, but in terms of just rival-ness. This isn't to say necessarily that I think so, but that I think most people think so. So maybe we'll throw some upsets in there, who knows? But let's go ahead and jump on in. We got a lot to go through. First matchup, Shauna versus Hugh. Shauna from Gen 6, the Gen of 800,000 rivals, and Hugh from Black and White 2. It's gonna be Hugh, because I don't know anything about Shauna, and I don't like Gen 6 because it's got too many rivals and I haven't played the game. So, I mean, I guess I can't really say I don't like it, but there's a reason I haven't played it. I don't know anything about Shauna, but I like Hugh enough that I don't care to even learn anything about Shauna. Hugh's by no means like an amazing rival, but he at least has like a purpose to him. He's got like some sort of drive. He wants to rescue his sister's purloin that got taken from her by Team Plasma however long ago. Probably this was probably during like peak Team Plasma, so like 2 years ago or whatever. However it happened, his sister's purloin got stolen, and he wants to become strong so that he can beat Team Plasma and get his sister's purloin back, which he kind of does, but not entirely. It's bittersweet, I guess is how you would say it. You do find his sister's purloin, who at this point is a leopard, but it's not the same purloin. I mean, it is, but it's not, because it's been with Team Plasma for however many years at this point. So it's sort of been, I don't know, I guess you could say corrupted by them, and it's not a nice, happy little purloin. It's mean and not nice. And I wouldn't say evil, but it's been corrupted. Yeah, that's as far as I know the conclusion to that plot line. I don't know if he still gets the purloin. I know the Shadow Triad person who had the purloin leaves the purloin to him. Let's choose to think that it ends happily, and that through love and affection and care, Leopard learns to love again. That's how we'll choose to think of it. But that's a cool sort of and a unique drive for the rival to have. But yeah, he wins. Bede versus Trace is going to be Bede, because I don't like Trace. I really don't like Trace. I think he's stinky and annoying and stupid. And he's just infinitely worse blue. That's all he is. They even made him look similar. He's just a terrible version of blue. Very yucky. Don't care about him at all. Bede wins. Next, Avery versus Brendan. So here's the thing. I like Gen 3, but Brendan and May suck as rivals. They're so bad. They're just not good rivals at all. Wally's the real rival. Brendan and May are not. They have one kind of scary fight under the cycling path. That's it. That's the only sort of scary encounter they have. And they also just stop battling you after Lily Cove. Like, what the heck? So many of their battles are optional too. You can just not do them. Like, they battle you in Rustboro, but you can just ignore them and not battle them. You can actually ignore battling them in Lily Cove and just never go in the department store. There's no like story connection. It's just completely just separate. and it's weird, and I don't like it. It is very strange. There's like a few required battles against them, but not many. It's just weird. It's just very weird. But I also don't know anything about Avery. I know nothing about Avery. I think I gotta pick Brendan. I'm not trying to be objective. This year, I'm not intending to be objective. I'm just going off of my experiences with the games and whatever. So whatever I know about the character. So Brendan, I at least know. I at least know him. Avery freaking beats me, brother. No clue. So yeah, Brendan got lucky. He's absolutely toast next round. Clara versus Trevor. So thank you, Reese, for doing the work for me. Clara is an adult, therefore she gets to move on because she's very pretty. And I actually just love her design, like, a lot. I think her design is insanely good. Versus Trevor, so he's taken your bowl cut, right? He's taken the bowl cut and he's doubled it and flipped it, so he's got just a sphere cut. His head is just a ball. I don't know. He's got more hair than body. It's insane. Trevor didn't stand a chance. I don't know anything about Clara, but I like how she looks, so she gets to move on. Next, How versus Callum. I'm gonna assume that Callum and Serena are the best two rivals from Gen 6, but again, I haven't played your games, and I also don't really care a ton for you. They're the two that I have the most care for, I think. Actually, maybe I care more about Tierno, just because I kind of like him, and he's supposed to be the goofy guy, I'm pretty sure. I like his oddish hair, but we'll talk about that. I think I pick How, even though he's not a good rival. I think I still pick How, because I've at least played his game. His defining character trait, first of all, I don't know, I've never heard anybody praise Callum or Serena for being good rivals. So from that, I'm going to assume they're not very interesting characters outside of just the fact that they're your rival. That's their entire existence is just to be your rival. They don't have any like grand goal or anything like that. Not that How really has. I guess How, his goal is the generic, I want to be champion. But he's absolutely garbage. And his defining character trait is that he wants to always eat masala. That's it. That's How. Terrible trainer who wants to eat masala. That about sums him up. But he's still gonna win because I've at least played his game. Ugh. These are some rough first round matchups, dude. These are some rough first round matchups. I blame the fact that Gen 6 has 5 rivals for this. Marnie versus Tierno. Haven't played Gen 8, but I really like Marnie. Like I said, I think Tierno's probably the one I kind of like most of the Gen 6 rivals, to the extent that I'm knowledgeable on them, because Tierno's supposed to be, I believe, the goofy friend in the group, and like I said, I do kind of like his oddish hair. It's cool. But Marnie is wonderful. Marnie's wonderful and sweet and lovely, and she's very emotionless almost. But she's also very, like I said, she's very sweet and very like polite and kind, despite being very not expressive, I guess. But she's got a cool team. She got her more Pico. Love more Pico. More Pico. I at least like know her team kind of. I couldn't tell you who Tierno has on his team. Not a clue. I don't know how many times you even fight Tierno. I'm pretty sure you fight Marnie like 4-ish times, something like that. And I at least like know a bit of her team. Like I know she has like the Grim Snarl, and she's got more Pico. She's got like a dark type team like her brother. And she's at least got like that aspect of like she's got more stuff going on, right? Like she's got her like fan club or whatever, right? Her brother is one of the gym leaders. She does at the end of the day have that same generic goal of I want to be champion. But that's a lot of the rivals. Just have that generic goal. But yeah, I definitely like Marnie more than Tierno. Next, Serena versus May. This is such a yikes matchup, dude. This is terrible. This is a terrible matchup. Gosh. May and Brendan got so insanely lucky with their matchups. Just the luckiest matchups in the world, because I gotta pick May over Serena because I don't know anything. They're both not good to the extent I'm aware, but I'm gonna pick May because she's at least got like something going on. Her goal isn't necessarily to become champion, which is, I guess, part of why they probably just sort of drop off halfway through the game, despite being like an actual rival character. Just, you could have like threw them in a few more times instead of just making them disappear. But like, they're the child of Birch, right? So they're more geared towards Pokemon research and stuff, which makes sense. So that's at least something in there to differentiate them, I guess, rather than Serena, who's probably a generic rival. So May gets to move on. Absolutely, just sad first round matchups, almost across the board. Moving on to our next round, Blue versus Hugh is so easily Blue. I talked about Hugh already, how he's at least got like a purpose versus just being just some generic rival, and he's got a unique purpose at that, which is props to him. But Blue is the quintessential mean rival character. Partially nostalgia, of course, right? I'm not gonna pretend there is no nostalgia involved in this, but he's also a very good rival, nostalgia aside. There's a few important things that I think make Blue a really good rival and a very good mean rival. The meanness, of course. He's very snarky, super snarky, which I love. And his snarkiness is sort of understandable just because of his competitiveness and him being one step ahead of you, always. He's always ahead of you. When you meet him at the SSN, he's already gone and gotten cut, right? And you talk to him and the dialogue's like, how many Pokemon have you caught? I've already caught 25. So he's very like, always one-upping you until that final fight at the very end where, again, like he becomes champion before you, right? You get to Lance and you're like, I beat Lance, I'm the champion. Nope, your rival's the champion because he beat Lance first. So you gotta go beat your rival. And it's a cool, super cool climactic ending to the games, which a lot of the rivals don't have that same sort of conclusion to them. Usually it's the champion where it ends, but Blue being a champion allows for that ending, which is cool. He's not a super dynamic character, like he doesn't really have any sort of development in terms of like his attitude or whatever, but I don't think he necessarily needs the change in attitude. His purpose is to be like a mean, hyper-competitive rival, which he does really well. Hugh doesn't have that. Hugh doesn't have that same sort of feel to him, because his goal isn't like, beating you is not part of his sort of deal. I mean, yeah, you battle a couple of times, right? Because you are rivals at the end of the day. But his goal is the purloin. His goal is not to be better than you. Next, Bede versus Barry. Again, I just don't know enough about Bede. I don't know enough about Gen 8. I do like Bede. He's a very smug sort of character, which is a point in his favor. Barry's interesting. Barry's an interesting rival. He does have the whole sort of just, I want to be champion thing. Very generic. I don't actually know what's up with what is Bede's goal? I don't know what Bede's goal even is, because I know like Bede is oh gosh, what's her name? Opal? Bede is like Opal's grandchild. And then I know there's something like having to do with like that final battle in the champion tournament between you and Bede. Like if Bede wins something, and if Bede loses something else. Like maybe it had to do with like Bede taking over as the gym leader in place of Opal. I don't know. Or like Bede, I don't know. I'm sure it was of some significance, but I can't remember what it was, so I won't be bothered over it. Barry's whole deal is he rushes. He rushes things. He's very impulsive. That's his defining character trait, is his impulsivity, which at points does come back to bite him. Like in a lot of his battles, I think that's when it comes back to bite him. Similar to Blue, he's also always sort of like the one step ahead because he's impulsive and rushes and is always very go, go, go. But he's not mean at all. Yeah, I don't know. I at least, I've played his game and I know more about him than I know about Bede, so he gets to move on. He's not one of my favorite rivals by a long shot, and when I think of Gen 4, he's definitely not somebody I think of, but I know enough to at least pick him. Gladion versus Brendan. Listen, Brendan, you got absolutely so lucky the first round. There's no chance you're beating Gladion. Absolutely zero chance. Gladion is a really good character and a really good rival. He's got a lot of depth to his character. He's Lucamine's son, was originally part of the Aether Foundation, ended up leaving the Aether Foundation because he saw the stuff that Lucamine was doing and her obsession with the Ultra Beasts and was like, yo, this is gonna be bad. I don't want to be a part of it. I want to try to stop it. So he leaves, joins Team Skull, and when he leaves, he steals a freaking Pokemon too, a la Silver from Gen 2. Except he steals, his steal isn't purely malicious. Gladion did it with the purpose of using Type Null to help him stop Lucamine, because Type Null was made to combat the Ultra Beasts. Type Null is like a botched version of Arceus or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's a real synthetic Arceus. That's sort of how it works, because the goal was to like have it be able to be any type, like dynamically, which is what Arceus can do with the different plates. But him as a character, he has a unique goal. His unique goal, stopping his mom from absolutely destroying Alola. Very unique goal. Very, very unique goal. He starts off very like coldly indifferent to you, I think is how I would say it. But then he sort of realizes that you can help him. So he ends up sort of becoming a pseudo companion as well as a rival, which is cool. He's just a very interesting character. Just a very, very interesting character. Clara versus N. So Clara, I picked you literally because I like how you look. I don't know anything about you beyond how you look. N, however, first of all, the hair. That's some luscious green hair. Second of all, N is one of my favorite characters in all of Pokemon. There's just so much good about him that it's hard to put it concisely into words. Very unique goal, and it sort of encompasses the entire theme of Black and White. Battle of beliefs, truths versus ideals. One of you represents truths, one of you represents ideals, which is cool. It's not just a competitive thing. It's like, it's grander. It's a grander rivalry than that. You first see him, okay, well, there's so much to him. There's so much to him. We'll talk about it when it matters. Right now, we don't need to talk about it because it doesn't matter. He, just on what I've said alone, he beats Clara. Easily. Sorry, Clara. You're still pretty, though. Wally versus How. Wally's an amazing rival. Wally's a great rival. How, like I said, his defining character trait is wanting to eat food, which isn't a great character trait to have for a rival. Not the strongest character trait. Wally's very cool. He has a lot of character growth throughout his game. He starts off, you first encounter him, he's talking to your dad, and he's like, please, can you lend me a Pokemon? Please, oh please, can you lend me a Pokemon so I can go catch one of my own? Sorry, Ubu Wally. It's a reference. It's not just me being weird. It's a reference. Go watch Josh's Theta Emerald Soul Link with Totter.
Ooh, I'm gonna stay with my relatives in Verdantooth.
So he starts off, he's just some frail, literally sickly kid. He had to leave his hometown because he just was sick from living there. He moves to Verdantooth because the air is like cleaner there or whatever. Before he leaves, he wants to catch a Pokemon to take with him. And then that's your first encounter with him. And then you don't see him for a while, and you see him at Mauville outside the gym, and he's like, hey, I've grown stronger. I'm gonna battle you. And you battle him, and then you absolutely just wipe the floor with him because he still only has his one Pokemon. And he's like, thank you for battling me. I'm gonna see you again. I'm gonna be stronger. He gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then you finally meet him at the end of Victory Road, and he's got a full team going. He is the rival. He is the rival of Gen 3. Brendan and May are pushovers. They're garbage rivals. Wally's a great rival. Next, we got Marnie versus Cheren. I think Cheren's a pretty good character. He's more so than Bianca. Bianca doesn't really serve as a very strong rival. En's the actual main rival, in my opinion. But Cheren is, between the friend characters, he's the main rival of the two. Like you, I think he has the goal of like becoming champion. Generic rival goal, once again, similar to Marnie. So that's nothing for either of them. But for some reason, I remember I feel like he has some growth. Like after your final battle with him, which I'm pretty sure is at like the end of Victory Road. Okay, I looked it up. I had the timing of it all wrong. He does have a character change, and it was sort of what I was thinking. So when you guys first meet Alder, who in Black and White is the champion, Alder sort of makes Cheren question like the why, like his actual drive behind wanting to be champion and wanting to be strong. And it sort of gets Cheren to sort of question himself, because he doesn't know why. He doesn't know why he wants to be strong. He just knows he wants to be strong and be champion. He hasn't fully like thought through all that. So that's sort of, and that happens fairly early on, I'm pretty sure, in the game. So throughout the game, Cheren's sort of trying to figure that out and find himself, which I guess he kind of does in Black and White too, because you see him as a gym leader. He sort of, I guess, comes to the conclusion that his role in life is not to be the champion, at least not at this point. His role is to help others progress in their own journeys through being a gym leader. Perhaps I embellished it slightly, but generally speaking, that's sort of his character arc, and it's a good character arc. Marnie, I don't really know. I do like Marnie though. I'm gonna pick Cheren because he's got better character growth throughout the game, which is super important for me. Marnie, maybe she has it, but if she does, I don't know about it. I just know I like her theme, and I like her design, and I like her team. And I like her personality as well. She's got a good personality. But beyond that, I don't know how dynamic of a character she is. Hop versus May. So I don't know if this is still a thing people say, but I think at least originally when Sword and Shield first came out, people compared Hop and How a lot, saying that Hop was just Galarian How, and vice versa. But that is definitely not the case. Hop, I think, is actually a really good rival. Not that it's hard to beat May as far as being a rival. Sorry, Reese. He's got character and ups and downs throughout the story. He takes the I'm your rival because I want to be champion, and he puts a twist on it by being the younger brother of the current champion, which is a cool change to the generic formula, and just like the dynamism to his character, the ups and the downs that you watch him sort of experience throughout Sword and Shield really enhance him as a rival. Bianca versus Silver is the easiest silver of my life. Sorry, the easiest question mark of my life, because I never named him Silver. I always named him question mark, because that's what he said his name was, so obviously that's his name, right? His name's question mark, not Silver. Bianca, like I said, she isn't really much of a rival as far as the three Black and White rival characters are concerned. She is certainly the least rival-y. She falls more into a companion role than a rival role. So they've got like N, who is like villain rival, Cheren, who's companion rival, and then Bianca, who is essentially just companion, not really rival, but you do like fight her a few times, so technically she's a rival. Her family's like very overprotective of her. She sort of defies them in a way and decides to go out and adventure, which is why she wanted a Pokemon in the first place. She's not really interested in being the champion. She just wants to explore, and like she wants independence, kind of. And through that, she sort of finds that she doesn't really like battling. It's not really something that she's interested in, and she's more so interested in understanding and learning about Pokemon, which is why in the remakes, she is Professor Juniper's aide. So she does have good growth, but she has good growth as a character, not as a rival. Silver, however, is a fantastic rival. Such a good mean rival. So Blue is mean in a snarky way. Silver's just mean. He's just mean. Your first encounter with him is telling you to get lost and pushing you away. That's a strong first impression to make. His backstory of being Giovanni's son explains a lot of his character and why he starts out the way he does, being so mean and essentially heartless. But through battling you throughout the game, you see him start to waver on his sort of stance that Pokemon are just tools to be used to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. The only thing important is them being strong. He starts to sort of question whether or not that's actually the case. He never flat out has that character change, but the fact that you just sort of get him to doubt is enough, in my opinion. Oh my goodness, there's so many rounds, dude. Blue versus Berry. This bracket's too big. Blue versus Berry is so... me, sir. So easily blue. I've already said my piece on both of them. Blue's just a better rival character. The snarkiness, the meanness, the being one step ahead of you, just a better rival across the board. Gladion versus N. I do really like Gladion, but it's gonna be N. N's just got so much to him, aided by the fact that he has 2 games. Technically, Gladion has 2 games, but they're the same game. One just added more stuff to it. N has actually 2 games, and Black and White 2 did a lot to sort of aid in his character arc, and is why a lot of people just love him as a character, myself included. He takes such a different perspective on the rival formula. It's very cool. It's similar to Silver, but it's not at the same time. He's not mean, just a very genuine character, very firm in his beliefs. However, those beliefs were to an extent founded on lies through his not actual father, adopted father, I guess, Getsus, who essentially just corrupted N. He just fed him lies throughout his entire life and sort of found the whole Team Plasma was founded on Getsus's lies, essentially. So, N, being like just a genuine, trusting individual, believed Getsus, because why would he not? Getsus was his dad, right? His dad, who's like, N, you're the king of Team Plasma. You are the chosen one to lead us to victory in pursuit of our belief that Pokemon are meant to be free. Even though that's not actually what Getsus wanted, he just wanted power. Yeah, so N believed all that, and then it's found out that he was deceived. It's like a super strong foundation for like immense character growth. He goes from essentially a villain character to becoming that hero character in the sequels. He's just such a different character than like anything they've ever done. He's just such a unique character. And maybe I'm just letting my love of N cloud my judgment in who is a better actual rival, but I think N's a fantastic rival. Wally versus Cheren is going to be Wally. Probably not super surprising. I love Wally's character arc so much. It's like a feel-good character arc too, because even though you beat him in the end in Victory Road, he's still happy. He's still just super happy to have been able to go on this journey. From his humble, sickly beginnings to a strong rival character who's grown with his Pokemon and become healthy. He's just a very feel-good character. Very feel-good rival. And super memorable, great character because of it. Hop versus Silver. Hop versus Silver. Hop versus Silver. I think... Unfortunately, this one comes down to the fact that I just haven't played Gen 8. I just haven't played Gen 8, so I haven't gotten the full Hop experience. So I have to go with Silver, because I've gotten the full Silver experience multiple times over. And it's very good. These are both very, very good rival characters. Polar opposites, to a degree, with Silver being just the definition of mean rival. Even more so than Blue, and Hop being the typical childhood friend rivalry. But he's a very dynamic character, but so is Silver, and I've experienced Silver's character arc, and I haven't experienced hops. I've only watched it a few times. So I can't pick Hop. Gotta pick Silver on this one. All right, here we are. We're down to our final 4. You know how I said there might be upsets? Turns out that was a lie. Oopsies. There were no upsets, but these are the final 4 for a reason. They're insanely good rivals. Blue versus N is going to be N, because Blue's not a character who you see growth in. He is what he is. Whereas N has more to him. So I think I just gotta pick N. Oh, in between Wally and Silver, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh no. I think I gotta pick Silver. I think you gotta pick Silver. Silver's got more than Wally has. Both of them are great. Both of them are fantastic in their own ways. These ones are actual polar opposites. Wally, just sort of shy, frail kid, and then Silver, first encounter, punches you in the face, essentially. You don't get much more different than that. But Silver having that sort of, that change of perspective, whereas Wally didn't really have necessarily a change of perspective. He just had an adventure, essentially. He had an adventure, which is something he otherwise would not have had if he didn't have that Ralts. He would have just been a sick Verdanturf boy. But Silver having those sort of seeds of doubt planted in him, and having the potential for that change in perspective from Pokemon are tools to Pokemon are companions, that's a very defining character trait, and a very, very good one. And it makes his backstory and stuff, like, they make that even better. Oh gosh, here we are. The final matchup, N versus Silver. Both very strong rival characters with pretty much all the traits that I was looking for throughout this whole thing, which is why they're here. Different takes on the rival formula. Silver, his goal isn't to become champion. He does have, I guess, the generic goal of wanting to become strong, but it's different because of his backstory. It makes sense for him to have that goal. You influencing and starting to change that is really cool. And having such strong beliefs, to an extent being founded on lies from his quote-unquote father, wild. It's just wild. So here's the thing that I think, I just really love the whole theme of Gen 5. Truths versus ideals is a really just the whole thing is just very different than what they've done in the past. And N is like a huge part of that, being your rival in belief. That's such a different take on the formula. Such a different take on the formula, and for that, N gets to win. Silver gets silver, and N gets gold. That's how the cookie crumbles this time around. Well, there we have it. That took a long time. Hopefully I can cut it down considerably. This is the rivals bracket. N is my champion. I'd love to know who your champion might be. If you want to fill out the bracket for yourself, link in the description. As well, check out Reese and Josh, who are doing these brackets too. They've both done this bracket already. Links will be in the description as well. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next bracket.